Hi guys. Okay, I don't even know how to start this video. It's very awkward and very almost embarrassing when I made a video 7 months ago being like, I'm back and I'm making videos again. And then I disappeared forever, never to be seen from again. It feels so weird to come on here and be like, hi, here's my new video months later. I know a lot of people that will watch this just on its own and don't know anything about my channel will be like, nobody cares. But I feel like I need to apologize, or not apologize, but like address it, because I don't do YouTube as like a career or anything. I do this as fun and I don't have a like commitment to it. But that being said, I still feel bad, especially making a video and promising that I'm gonna be here and I'm gonna do these things, and having people, even though it's just a small amount of people, but having people that are excited about it and care about it, and then I feel like I just let them down. Anyway, that being said, I'm here again and I am coming to you with a story from Japan that I think people will like. I haven't really done very many story times. I guess I did a couple on my channel. My biggest story time video would probably be my bad clubbing experience, and we all know, if you know anything about my channel, that that video is wildly, wildly unpopular. So let's see how this one does. I say like all the time. Let's just say that. I say like all the time. Let's just turn it into a game. Grab a beer, grab some shots, and take a shot every time I say like. And then maybe this video will be a lot more enjoyable for you too, because you're gonna be hammered halfway through. And let's just get right into the story. No, let's do this. So this would have happened when I was working and living in Japan for my year, which would have been, God, when I think about it, fucking 6 years ago now. That's crazy. So I was 20 years old at the time, and I was just a little baby bean, you know, living my life, being a little child and having the best time ever living on my own in a foreign country. I worked at a bar called the Black Lion. There's a few videos in my channel. If you want to check out more about that, you can go in there and search around and see some info about the Black Lion. So the Black Lion was in a town in a prefecture called Meguro. And so it was a Saturday night and I was working all night with just one other person. I think it was like around 11 o'clock, I guess. And I'm working the one side of the bar and my coworker's working the other side. It's kind of cut in half. And this guy comes in and he is wearing a fedora, sunglasses, and like a sick mask. He looked like an old lady that was trying to avoid the sun, which is a thing in Japan. But it was nighttime. So he comes in, he takes off his fedora, he takes off his sunglasses, takes off his mask, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of like a cute boy, nice. Ordered some wine and we talk. It's very much just bar chit chat, like, where are you from? What's your name? Do you speak Japanese? I want to learn English. He was really nice and he did make kind of conversation with me, but he spent a lot of time on his phone. Whatever. So my coworker comes from the other side of the bar and he sees the guy sitting at the bar. And he like freaks out and runs to the other side and motions me to come over. So I go over to him and he tells me, he's like, do you know who that is? Obviously, no, like, I don't know. Okay, let's just pause for a second. I know this is such a mood killer to the story, but let's just pause. When I first was gonna make this video and I first thought about it, I wasn't sure if I should say the celebrity's name. And it's not because I'm like gonna bash him or say something terrible about him or that the situation was career ending. Like, it wasn't a great situation, but it's not like anything that, it doesn't matter. I'm a nobody. So like, even, you know, I don't know. I wasn't sure how to go about it because I've never made videos like this before. And I've seen some storytime videos where people are like, I'm gonna keep it a secret. Let me know if you think that it's in bad taste, but I'm gonna say his name, because I think that's a lot more interesting. And if I was to watch this video, then I would want to know who the celebrity was instead of having to guess. So he motions me over and he goes, and now I'm really sorry if I butcher the name. He goes, that's Takuro Sato. And I'm like, I don't know who that is. He shows me pictures and I realize that I have seen him in things before. He's in Kamen Rider, which is kind of like the Japanese, I mean, I was gonna say the Japanese Power Rangers, but Power Rangers is originally Japanese. It's like a big robot thing. The only thing that I've seen him in is this drama called Rookies, where he had dreadlocks, and there's no way that I would ever recognize him from that. He was also in the new Rurouni Kenshin movie, which came out not that long ago, I feel like a year at least or so. So he's like a pretty big named actor. My coworker's freaking out and like super excited about it. And I'm excited too because I've never met a celebrity before and that's cool and they're drinking it in my bar. And so at that point I was like, I gotta be, you know, cool. Like I was trying to make more conversation because I wanted to be like I'm talking to a celebrity. He was kind of like not really having it, I felt. He was nice enough, but it wasn't like he was striking up conversations left and right. That's the first time that I met him. The second time was a few days later, and this time he was real chatty. And then he started to get more, not personal, but I guess personable. So he's like, oh, I really want to learn English. And he's got great English. Like, this guy knows how to speak English. Well, I mean, basically anyway. So when he's asking me to teach him English, or telling me that he wants to learn English, he mentions that he wants me to teach him. And I was like, yeah, teach this Japanese celebrity English. Cool. Like, I'm going to take pictures with this guy. We're going to go out in public. It's going to be so cool, right? But that's like me making fun scenarios in my head that is not something that happens. Like, remember, this is the second time that I've met him only. He would say things that were very like, they could come off as just small talk, but they also came off kind of like, I don't want to be like he's hitting on me, but it was kind of like he was hitting on me. He was like, one thing that he said that was really strange, that kind of like, I don't know, weirded me out, was when he goes, my house is just down the street, or I have a home that's just like down the block or whatever. And like, okay, this could be taken as I come to this bar because my house is not that far away, but it just kind of seemed like in the context and in like, I don't know how he said it. That could be me just reading into things, and that's not one of the weirdest things that he said to me, but it was one of the first things that kind of had me being like, okay, that's nice. It was a pretty uneventful thing other than him wanting to learn English from me. He comes in the weekend, and again, it's like a Saturday, and talks more about me teaching him English. I'm like, yeah, like, I'm interested in that, but he would never make a plan. He was just like, you should teach me English. And so one time I was like, well, you can come to the bar. Like, this is a great place for us to talk and stuff. But he made it seem like, oh, look, we should go somewhere else. But he would never say anything. Like, he would just never say it outright. One of the things that he said, I would really love for you to teach me English, but I have no way of contacting you. And I'm like, bitch. Okay, so yeah, you have no way of contacting me, so am I supposed to be like, oh, here's my phone number? I was with Koji at this time, and I'm not gonna front. I'm not gonna put on this fake, like, oh, I would never. Like, a 20-year-old Amy would have been throwing my phone number at him, being like, let's do whatever you want because you're a celebrity and I'm single and I don't care what happens to me because I'm 20 and stupid. But I couldn't do it. Obviously, in the relationship, I was very happy in my relationship at the point. I'm still happy in my relationship. That's a whole nother thing, but you know, I couldn't further these possible, let's make this clear, I'm not saying, but these possible invitations that he was giving me. So that made me feel some type of way. It was just kind of weird. And he did come back a few more times before the incident. He was very nice, and we just kept talking, and he kept hinting more at, oh, one time he goes, you know, I have just all this free time because of, this was just happened after the earthquake. And so he's like, I just have all this free time. You know, you could teach me English like any time. Because I told him, I was like, I think you're probably really busy. Like, aren't you going to be really busy with you being a celebrity? And he's just, oh, I just have all this free time. It's like, oh, okay. So do you want to hang out and learn English? I don't know, man. Yeah, so anyway, like, again, it was just a lot of that. Again, nothing creepy or like, come back to my house or nothing like that. I guess it would probably have been the 7th or 8th time he's coming to the bar. And it was my boss's wife's birthday, and it was a Saturday. And all of the staff was working that night. We were having a huge party. It was gonna be bumping. The bar was gonna be packed full, which is not very hard because that place was tiny. But we had all of our staff working, and he came in really early before the party started. All the staff was already there because we were prepping. And he came in and everyone's freaking out. They're all trying, like, they all come up to me and they're like, Amy, like, you should tell him to stay for the party. I just have this distinct memory of being like behind in the bar, like by the well, and everyone's like surrounding me. They're like, Amy, tell him to stay. Like, I felt uncomfortable about it, but at the same time, like, why not, right? So I told him, I was like, it's boss's wife's birthday. If you want to hang, that would be cool. And he was like, will you sit and have a drink with me after? And I'm like, yes, I can do that. So I work the shift and it gets busy really quickly. And when he came in, every other time that he came in, he drank wine, red wine. That was it. 2 glasses of red wine. And then he would go on his way. So he drank his 2 glasses of red wine and then he decided to switch it up to gin and tonic. Now, in the Black Lion, and I can't vouch and say this is all Japan, I'm not going to be an expert of Japan bar life, but at the Black Lion, we did not measure alcohol. We did not do shot glasses, we did not do that. It was all free pour. So the drinks were made very strongly. And I'm not the one making all of his drinks, so like, let's just make that clear. I'm not the one that's just getting them all fucked up like, hey, you know? So he's drinking these really strong gin and tonics, and he gets drunk pretty quickly. So he had lots of people like talking to him, but he was taking pics and signing autographs and stuff and laughing. He danced at one point. It was hilarious. He's drinking all night. Everyone's having a good time. I finish my shift. I get my beer. He's surrounded literally by like 10 people, all talking in Japanese. I don't know Japanese. I go sit over here with Momo and my boss's wife. And, you know, I was going to be there all night. I'm sure we would have a chance to, if he really cared, to connect at some point during the night. So I'm sitting at the table with my friends and I look over at his direction at one point. And he's looking at me and he like motions me to come over to him. And like I said, there's like a million people by him. I'm not interested in being part of that combo. There was this girl standing with him too. I'll always remember this. There's this girl standing beside him. And when he went like that towards me, she like looked at me straight in the face and she was like, like, I don't know what that was supposed to mean. But it was very, it didn't make me want to go over there, that's for sure. So I just stayed where I was. And, okay, so I can't say exactly the time frame, how long I'd been sitting there. It was quite a while. It wasn't like right after he said this happened, but it was probably like a couple hours, maybe later. I see out of my peripheral vision that he's coming towards me. And I look and he's like, I can just see from the way that he's walking over towards me, he's hammered, blacked out, hammered. I can tell. I worked as a bartender for a while, and so I could tell that I know what drunk people look like. So he's like blacked out, hammered. I've worked as a bartender in Canada as well, and in Canada, when somebody is quite obviously that drunk, you cut them off. You cut that person off and you kick them out. They're not supposed to be in there anymore. I've never seen people really get cut off in Japan. I've seen people passed out in their own puke outside on the streets. You know, I've never seen somebody be, like the bar really be held responsible with how much alcohol you consume. Whereas it's very different in Canada, whereas we're super responsible for how much alcohol you consume at a bar. So anyway, he's wasted. It's game over, man. And he comes up to me and he just starts, like, he looks at me and he starts yelling, like just yelling. And it's like a mixture of Japanese and English, but the majority of the English is just profanity, like fuck and bitch and like all this stuff. And I'm taken aback. Like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, well, what's going on here? And the people that are around me, like, the bar is very loud, so it's not like the whole bar is just like, what's going on? But there was like a few people around me that were kind of like giving me side eye, like, what's happening here? And he grabs my arm really tightly and starts like pulling me towards the door. Well, I say towards the door because he's pointing at the door and pulling me with his arm. And he's not pulling me with enough force to like knock me onto the ground or anything like that, but he grabs me pretty hard and he's like yanking me to like get me out of the seat. I'm just kind of like, ugh, like what's going on? I was just really taken aback. Like I didn't really know what was happening at the time or how to react. There's like, at this point, there's some people coming up and being like, hey, like, are you okay? What's happening? And he just looks at me like dead in the eye. Like I'm the most disgusting person he's ever seen. The most drunk disgust that I think I have ever seen on somebody's face. And he stares at me for a good like 20 seconds, I want to say. And then he just storms out the door. And I've never saw him again. I don't know if he was like, fuck this bitch. I ain't ever gonna support the place she works at. Never going there again. I don't know, but he never came back. And like I said, this was during the time of the earthquake. So it would have been around March. I was still in Japan for over half a year after that. And I never saw him ever again. He never went back to that bar. But yeah, that's my story. I think it's probably one of the more interesting things that's ever happened. And like I said, I've never met a celebrity before, so I was like super stoked about it. The main thing is, I'm not mad. I'm not mad about it. I mean, like I still feel some type of way if I see him on like the internet or something. I'm like, this guy. But I'm not mad. It's not like I think like, oh, he's a terrible guy and don't support anything that he does because he's a nice guy. But that was just really funny and awkward. Like, I don't know. I like to think that he was mad because he was interested in me. And he was mad that I didn't go sit with him. That's what I like to think, just to toot my own horn. But you never know. You never know what it could be. Could be a true thing. You could just be crazy drunk. But yeah, anyway, that's my story. I hope that it was relatively worth the wait if you care about my channel at all. One thing I would like to say before I go is if you guys have any requests for what you want from this channel, let me know. Like, did you like this? Did you actually like this one? Did you like this story time? Was I too rambly? Am I like over 20 minutes? Like, that's just sad. Like, I'll try and edit it down, but who knows what's gonna happen. Let me know if you liked it by giving it a thumbs up and comment down below. As always, I like reading everybody's comments. Makes me feel very happy. And let me know what else you want to see on this channel. Do you want more story times? If you do want more story times, what do you want story times on? Because I can tell you never-ending stories about things. Like, do you want to know nice places to go, like just for fun? Do you want to know places to eat? Do you want to know more stories about boys? Do you want to know more club stories? Just ask me whatever you want, because I don't know what I'm doing with this channel, obviously, and I think it'll really help me if somebody gave me like ideas down below, and then I could be like, yeah, I can make a video of that. Even if one person wants to see it, it gives me motivation to do something. That's all I'm going to say. It's over. As always, thank you all so much for the support and the continued support. I love you all very, very much. You rock my world. And if you want to subscribe to me, that would be great. But don't expect too much from me because I make videos very, very occasionally. Anyway, bye guys.